Hello everyone. In this video, we will see how to create a new compute instance in Oracle Cloud or OCI, so called as Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So we have a couple of requirements before we go for creating a new compute instance. First, we should have a VCN, stands for Virtual Cloud Network. Optionally, if we would like to use our own keys for the connectivity, then we should have our own SSH keys for the same. In this tutorial, we will see we will be using Oracle provided keys only. Let's start the demonstration. So for this, we must log in to our OCI console. So those who doesn't know about how to log into OCI console, just go to cloud.oracle.com and go to the login option. Provide your credentials and log into your instance. Okay, so we have, after logging in, we will be having this sort of options over here. So first we will be going to create our a new VCN. Okay. So go to menu section, networking and overview. Okay, so we can see a lot of options are here under networking. So for a simplicity, Oracle provides couple of options for a quick VCN creation. So if we'll go for the creation of internet connectivity, VCN with the internet connectivity, so this wizard will help to create the same. It also provides a schematic diagram. So once we spin up the instance, once we spin up the VCN, it will be having an architecture diagram like this. So we will be having a VCN, virtual cloud network. We will be having the IG, stands for internet gateway, for connecting to the outbound internet, and outbound and inbound. We will be having a NAT for outbound traffic, and we can have a service gateway to in order to connect to Oracle Services Network, right? So let's choose this option because we will be requiring an internet connectivity so that we can connect to our instance. Just start the wizard. Okay, so just asking few of the questions. Okay, so before we start, limit ensure your tenancy has reached its VCN limit. See service limits. So let's check it out. What is this? We need to ensure because I might have some other VCNs. So let's check it out whether how much limit I have, or I can create how much virtual cloud network. Okay, so your tenancy has limits on the maximum number of resources you are allowed to use. You can use quotas to allocate resources to compartments. So as of now, we have a compute service. We have a scope to this availability domain. Please allow this to be loaded. Okay. So we have these sort of compute instances, course, and okay. So we will be checking out VCN. Okay, so it doesn't have any specific. Okay, let me check it out. It's for a specification. So let me go for, let's say I go for the VM standard 2.2. This might be required. So there is no specification for the usage of the same. For the same. Okay. So let's go back to our main option. So let's, I give this name as a, I'm creating this network for my blockchain operations. Blockchain VCN. I will be using the root compartment. It's a VCN cider block. It should be, keep it as default on the public and the private. VCN public and private. Okay, go to the next. So this screen shows the review of my VCN. So the name, so compartment, so tag. I can give another tag as well. So check it out. Tagging options. Let's say I add another tag. PVC. So let's say so blockchain G. Okay, so it's changed. So DNS label and the DNS domain name. It's a public subnet. These are the internet gateway, the NAT gateway, the service gateway, the routing tables. So default route tables for this. So the security list shows the rule ingress and egress rules. So ingress is allowed from anywhere, egress from here to anyone. That's for the public, this is for the private. We can change it later as per our requirements. So this is a routing table. Okay, so this was the quick overview of the VCN. Then let's go to the create. So Oracle will create the necessary resources for you, and once it is getting done, the status is getting updated. There we go. So we have successfully created our VCN. Let's view our VCN. So it's a blockchain VCN over here. So we have a public subnet, private subnet, all the stuff created. Okay. So next, what we have to do, we are going to create a new compute instance. So for that, go to compute instances. So we have a root compartment where we already have couple of compute instances. So we will be going to create a new compute instance. So it is asking a few of the inputs from us. So name, let's say it's a blockchain VM. The compartment is root. So let's change the image. We are going to install a Ubuntu Linux over here. So we'll be using canonical Ubuntu 1804. Okay, select image. Availability domain, keep it as default. Compute shape, we have requirement of 2 CPU and minimum of 16 gigs of memory. We'll be choosing the fixed CPU count, and we will be choosing VM standard 2.2. So it will be fulfilling our requirements. Minimum 16 gigs for required. So it has a 2 CPU with 30 gigabytes of memory. It's a RAM basically. Okay, and okay, so select the shape. So the shape has been changed to 4 OCP, 30 GB of RAM, 2 GB plus network bandwidth. Okay, so then we have the compartment, and then we have a VCN. Okay, so this is something interesting that it has already picked up a new VCN. If you click on the drop down, it is taking, it will show you a couple of all the VCNs we have created previously. Okay, so alphabetically it might be it will be taking the same, so that's why it has taken blockchain VCN. Now it's a root compartment, it's fine. Subnet, blockchain regional, it is fine. It will show all the options based upon the VCN only. Okay, so we will be requiring a public IP. Now coming to the boot volume, it is actually a block volume assigned by Oracle. So by default it is having 46.6 gigabytes. So I have a requirement of 100 gigabytes. Next, Rest of the option, leave it as it is. We are not going to encrypt this. Next we have for SSH keys. For Linux based instances, use SSH key pair. So if we already have, we can just drag and drop over here, or we can paste SSH keys. Okay, if you don't have SSH keys, we will not be able to connect SSH. So I would requesting to generate the SSH keys. So we need to save these keys. Okay, so save private key, save the public key. Okay, so these are having the pub extension, the key extension. This is the private key as the public key. So let me first save it on a safe place, because without this we will not be able to connect. Go to desktop, and let's say in my case, wait, just we're going to create a new folder. It's OCI blockchain. I will be pasting the keys over here. Great. So keys have been pasted successfully. Next, there are some other advanced options we might not be requiring at this moment. So it will be taking the by default the fault domain, or you can alternatively provide. Okay, you can provide an init script, or you can paste a init script over here as well. It will be picking up post initialization of the compute instance what scripts it need to follow first. Okay, networking, we can provide some private IP and the host name. These are the optional parameters. uh, for the image, we can provide additional information, host. So we are not going to make any changes over here. Okay, so let's go to the create. So let's Oracle allow to create the compute instance. Okay, so there might be some issue, so let me give a try again. So change the boot volume size. Okay, so there might be some issue, let me refresh. Since all the utilities are browser based, so sometimes the things are getting interrupted meanwhile. Okay, so actually the instance was going to the provisioning state. So once I refreshed the so the stuff came here. So it is in the provisioning state. So VM has started its provisioning. So before we move further, and once it's getting provisioned, check out some the information available. So availability domains in AD1, so fault domain 3 default chosen regions AP Mumbai. OCID is a unique identifier of my tenancy for this particular VM. It is launch dates, compartment, agent management is enabled. Instance access, the public IP has been allocated to this. Username is Ubuntu. So basically, Oracle has all the shapes or the images of the for the VMs, which automatically does the creation of the users and the default settings. Okay, so it's a private IP address is this. Network security group, as of now it is none. We can change it once it is getting created and if we require. So instance details, whatever we have provided. So shape information. Okay, so work request we can see over here. Okay, so it has succeeded, so great. So it is now in the running state. So we have a public IP of the same. We have a username. It has succeeded. Okay, so these are the start, stop, and if we go to the edit option, so we can see if we would like to change the shapes, go to the edit shape, you can change the stuff over here. Okay, more actions, so we are not going to do over this. So next step is to connect using SSH to my this compute instance. Okay, so it's a public IP, username is Ubuntu. So let's see how we should connect to this. Okay, so let's go to the keys first. So we have put our keys inside OCI blockchain. We have these two keys. We will be using private key for the connecting. SSH minus I key, then Ubuntu at the rate of IP address. Yes. Okay. So it is not accessible at the by others. Okay. So that's bad permission. I must give the valid permissions on this file. VCH mode 400. Okay. Let's give a try again. So that's the way I have been connected to my Ubuntu Linux. So you have seen how quickly I have created a new network, I have created a new instance, and I have connected to my compute instance via SSH. So this is how quickly we have created a new compute instance in Oracle Cloud using Ubuntu Linux. Okay, so thanks for your time. Thanks for this tutorial.